Peace, power, and love. What's going on? It's your one and only Kansu Sheshwan Moon, and you are listening to yet again another broadcast with Team Osiris. And this is a late night broadcast. We're not gonna have you up all late and stuff. We know folks got stuff to do and all that kind of good stuff. So, but I just, we felt that this might be just something to ponder and maybe even get a little laugh at. And what we're talking about tonight is the upcoming just stupendous events that will be happening in the month of December in the conscious community, man. I'm talking about on the December 18th, Steel Sharpen Steel, the General Sarah Sutanseti and Young Pharaoh versus the Amun Ra Squad. And then you got in that Steel versus Steel, and it's only $20, y'all. $20 to get in, man. It's $20 to see Young Marcus and Jeffrey Rosenberg. And then this is at 570 Fulton Street, right? That's on December 17th. Only $20, man. You get to see Young Marcus versus Jeffrey Rosenberg. Okay? Premium scholarship. 17-year-old youngster, 18. I think he's a little older than that, though. I think that's a trick. And Jeffrey Rosenberg, the 19-year-old college Jewish phenom. That's only $20, man. And you got on the 18th, the day after, only $30. Sarah Sutanseti Young Pharaoh versus the Amun Ra Squad. So for 2 days, $50, man. Get you a plane ticket, man. Fly on into New York. Hang out with the scholarly greats. Which we will say, which is the title of the show. The Self-Proclaimed Scholar. If nobody ever told you you were a scholar, does that mean you're one? Can you actually claim it yourself that you're a scholar? I thought it would take someone that would observe your work and then deem you a scholar, but be it far from me. But we do have our panel from my right and your left, Queen Nefer Ka. Team all set. What's up, Queen? What's happening?
Sorry. Peace, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's awesome. It's great. This powerful conversation on this groundbreaking events, these two events. It's gonna be amazing. We got the brother, the archivist, Melvin. What's up, brother? How you be? Okay, he's probably getting his notes because this is such a big event that's coming up. I mean, these are just world-class scholars that we're going to be watching. And I'm pretty sure he's gathering all his notes. Next is the brother, we call the young phenom, Mr. Christopher. What's up, King?
What's up, Brother Kansu? What's up, Nefer Ka? What's up, Brother Heru? And what's up, Melvin? Let's get it popping.
Yes, sir. Last but not least, man, this brother here, man, is quite a enlightening young man. Brother Heru.
Peace to the family. Peace to the family. What's going on? We got an illustrious panel going on right here, man. What's going on, man?
That's what's up, man. And kings and queens, we try to provide a service even late on a Saturday night. You might be bored. You might not have much of a life going on. You might not be in the club, but you decided to come listen to us, and we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nathaniel Turner. Shout out to Kimmy King. What's happening? out there that's partaking in the show. What's up? What's good? So yeah, we're gonna make an assessment. What I want to do first is I want to share my screen because I don't think my panel is ready for this empirical data that I have to show the conscious community. Let me get this data together. Let me share that my screen. Hopefully all y'all ready. Okay, be ready because you about to get this work. So I'm gonna start the screen share. Can somebody let me know if they can see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can see
You
it.
can see it. Okay. Now here comes this data. Let's go with this data. This is empirical data.
Oh
You
shit!
see who really showing up to this debate? These crying ass Jordans. Goddamn
Hey,
crying.
can I comment on that real quick?
Go ahead, man. This is some serious data. You're gonna have to comment. Go ahead.
All right. This is very sad to me, and I mean, we have a lot of actual things going on in the world. You know,
Yes.
this isn't one of them. What's very sad is that you have on the left, you got a brother wearing an oversized ankh around his head. You have another brother who I seen had party code props, had I guess a fake European head doing Mortal Kombat videos, you know what I'm saying, with a fake sword and stuff like that, which I find disrespectful as I trained in traditional Japanese martial arts. Anyway, but then you have on the next side, you have Afrocentrics, an individual who calls himself an atheist. You're Macedonian, you're Greek, what are you? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't care. But then you have another person who people swear that the ancient Egyptian language is a Bantu language. You know, swear up and down. But the thing is that, now you have these two opposing views arguing among each other. It looks fucking stupid and it's fucking sad. I'm sorry. And what's even worse is the fact that, none of these individuals would even challenge universities. Like, for fact, there's nothing special. Man, let me say this, though. All these people, and like, Medinet is Bantu, right? Everyone is using a classical form of Medu Neter. No one's using late Egyptian. No one's using the Demotic, you know what I mean? Or old Egyptian. It's fuckery and it's games, you know what I'm saying? You have college students of all races that can go to multiple universities that learn the Medu Neter and better than any of these people on YouTube or on these it's fucking Facebook. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? The shit is sad. So I'm just gonna digress and de-stress from the bullshit because it's just sad. You know what I'm saying? Like most of these books, I have dictionaries, I have multiple grammars. I have multiple grammars, multiple dictionaries. I have multiple reading books that you would have to purchase just to take certain courses in university levels. So there's nothing special about any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking stupid. These motherfuckers is dumb. It is what it is.
Well,
can I add something?
yes, and please.
When I first
expound
saw
on
the
it.
flyer, I was like, Seti must have a strong ass neck. Look at that damn ankh. Look at that.
That is Kemet.
But all they need is that what's that? What's that artifact that young Pharaoh pulled out with the alien?
Yes, the alien wrapped up like a burrito from Taco Bell.
Oh my God, that would complete that look that Seti's got going right now.
Well, I SETI, let's say this. I group them all in the same category. I will have to say that Pharaoh's Jordan head is exquisite. This is the empirical data we need to see. The head fits perfectly with the body. You would almost think that's Jordan looking away from these clowns. And I would have to also comment that Asar Imhotep's Jordan is awesome. Awesome. Great lighting. You see the lighting of the graphics from the letters are really shining on Jordan's head right there.
Hey, Consul, can I say something real quick? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Fuck the bullshit. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
we
shit.
done. Imhotep, right? Everybody calling people pseudo and stuff. Everybody want to run around calling people pseudo. You got motherfuckers quoting people like Marta Ashby in the back of your book. You know, individuals talking about comedic yoga and stuff like that. You know what I mean? My thing is this, and I challenge this. Stop beating up on your younger brothers and sisters that may not know what you know. Go to these universities and push that bullshit. Go to the universities and push it. Somebody don't like what you say, what you gonna metal netter niggas to death? Come on.
How do you say shut the fuck up in Meta Netta?
Exactly. They don't know. Because if
I would like to know.
you,
I want to know how you curse people.
let me shut this one thing to rest. And I'm gonna say this, and this is the thing that I don't like, because I mean you have people that play around with individuals. The number one Medu Netter dictionary in the world is a German dictionary. It's a German dictionary headed by Adolf Ehrman and another individual. It's like 7 volumes and with like 5 extra references or whatever, but it's about 13 different books, which is a multi-volume of the ancient Egyptian language from the Old Kingdom into, I believe, up until like late Demotic before the Coptic era. You know what I mean? But still, though, these are European dictionaries. So stop fucking around. Because even if you're trying to compare and a lot of these African languages are new, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of African friends and shit. You know what I'm saying? So just because you speak a certain African language, it doesn't mean it's an old African language. Just cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the times, like people that sit there and try to compare these African languages with Egyptian, for one, again, you're using classical Egyptian. That's like me trying to compare certain languages with how Shakespeare may have written, you know, within that era. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever that period is. You know what I'm saying? But that's not necessarily how those individuals actually spoke on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of shit is just incorrect. And again, before you could even state how something is, oh, this is an African language, you have to first consort German dictionaries. So come on. And I'm not even on the SETI side, because SETI and Pharaoh both full of shit. You know what I'm saying? The Metal Netter has been deciphered. But before you even go to talking about Shaluba and these different African languages, you got to first talk about how the hell is how is all of these African languages, this lexicon, why is it all in German?
Well, let me ask you something. I know that you're passionate about this, Chris. And I want the other panelists to engage. But if we look at the empirical data that I presented, how serious could it be? How could anyone take this serious? It says, this is what it says, has the Metal Netter been deciphered? And the subtopic is a quick explanation about life on Earth, how human life diversified. Where is the cognate in these two subject matters, and how important is it? Like, okay, you're giving a great explanation, but would you even have the energy to explain this shit at this event? Like, if I'm gonna pay $30 and I got Cyrus Seti, Young Pharaoh, and the Amun Ra Squad, whoever the hell the 8 of them are, Mossy Warrior Clan, Dagger Squad, who knows who the hell gonna show up, okay? And they're gonna talk about the Metal Netter and then a quick explanation about life on Earth, how human life diversifies. Who are these people? How are they qualified to even talk about this shit. I open the floor.
Hey, I say this, for the money that you spend at a event, you could buy a grammar to learn the goddamn language. You know, it's not even about even the meta language. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, forget that. You know what I'm saying? Because meta is not going to save us. It's not going to make niggas float. It's not going to take us to another dimension. You know, it's an academic pursuit. It's just language. That's it. It's a writing form that died out. That's it. It's a dead language. Nothing special, nothing more. You know? So that's all I'm going to say. And, you know.
Anyone else? I have a hard time. I'm not even upset. It's a. How do I take this serious?
I mean, I just think it's like with anything else, you know, when it comes to these debates, it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant to be. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who actually think they're gonna learn something from this, and maybe they may, but I just, you know, I just think that people are gonna go there because they want to see people get it in. They want to see people fight. They want to see people argue. They want to see people be disrespectful, and then make it seem like it's something scholastic. So they trick themselves into believing that they're actually doing something that's productive, but really it's just entertainment. You know.
So let's just. I think you hit on a key point, Neferka. So what you're saying is basically the parishioner knows that this is some WWE type shit, some love and hip hop reality TV. You know, it's not really valid. Like, it's not real, actual information, or assimilation of information. But they just want to be entertained. Is that what you're saying? It's just, hey, I just want some entertainment.
I would say that some. I mean, there are going to be some people there who actually think they're going to get some information, but you know, I've heard people say, "Hey,
scary.
You know, I know." I'm sorry?
No, I just said that was scary. That's kind of a scary.
Oh, well, I've heard people say, well, I know what it is. I know this is all, you know, just some bullshit, but I'm still going to pay to see it because, you know, I'm a Raw Squad. I'm going to support my man Seti. Like, really?
Yeah.
For what? I mean, I don't know.
No, that's a great point. I think that's a great point that you brought up. That, you know, entertainment, I mean, is key. But we'll dig a little deeper. I'm glad you put that out there, though. Anyone else on the panel? Brother Melvin, brother Haru?
Well, I mean, the neophyte may get something out of it, but you know, I mean, people like us who, you know, who understand what's really going on and familiar with the information already, I personally don't think that we're gonna get anything out of it at all, other than entertainment. From my perspective, there's no disrespect to anybody on there, but I just don't think that we're gonna get anything out of it. I mean, bottom line, at the end of the day, I mean, we know the language has been deciphered. I mean, there's multiple examples of that. I don't even see what's the point of this right here. I just think it's just what it is, entertainment, honestly.
Well, according to SETI, you cannot decipher the Medu Neter unless you're doing it with an African spirit. If you don't have an African spirit, you can't decipher the language.
I like that.
Oh,
you know, I like that.
Funny you say that, but I would have to ask that brother, what is an African spirit?
I like that. I think y'all both pretty much polarized. I do. I dig that. I think that a neophyte, if we want to call it that, none of us have been subject to direct schooling of the Medu Neter. We have not gone to school for Medu Neter. We may have done some research here and there, some self-taught shit, but it's nothing like going to a structured environment where your aptitude is judged. That's a totally different world than to sit at home, eating your popcorn, you got your flip-flops on, and you're Googling up some shit. Or you go to Amazon and you buy 5 or 6 books. You highlight it and you memorize what you highlight. That's not like going to school for this shit. That's like learning how to drive a car with a book. You never been in a car and you read about driving the car and you just hop your ass in the car and think you're not finna tear up everything within the first quarter mile. Because you read on how to read a book, drive a car, but you never did the shit. So I'm looking at this from a satirical standpoint because these are entertainers. They got these superimposed pictures. They wearing onks, big ass onks, onk bracelets, onk t-shirts, onk necklaces. Everything's onk on there. You know, maybe these guys are onk worshipers. I don't know. But how do we take them? How do we actually have the energy to say we can take them serious?
Can you hear me, Brother Costu?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, one of the things I find it hard to take people serious is that, for instance, you know, the same ones will say, and it's a stupid topic, so I don't even like even talking about it, but the metanetter hasn't been deciphered, but, you know, you run around with allegedly Kemetic names and things like that. And I think it has a lot to do with post-traumatic slave syndrome. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us use that term around here because the fact that a lot of us have been affected by Christianity immensely. So the fact that people associate Christianity in Northeast Africa with Coptic, rightfully so. So I think that to them, knowing damn well, again, like I said, that Coptic is an African language, but again, that association with Christianity makes them, you know, toss that out the window, you know? And it's one of the old sayings, which I've heard a lot. I'm not sure about anybody else, but, you know, it's kind of like they say, you know, don't throw out, you know, the baby with the bathwater, you know? And I feel like that with Coptic, you know, just because it was used in Egypt during a Christian phase doesn't make the language itself not African. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna chill back on that.
Okay. Okay. Well, I pose this question. We've got 2 debates going on here, but they seem to have 2 different themes. We'll get back to the extravaganza of the heavyweights of the conscious community. We'll get back to that extravaganza. But young Marcus versus Jeffrey Rosenberg. And their platform is, their premise, are the Jews capable of aligning with black people in the fight against white supremacy, or does their past record show them to be the enemy? WTF. What kind of goddamn premise is a half paragraph?
I just want to know. You know what? No, I don't.
Hey.
First of all,
go ahead, Queen.
I was, you know, when I first saw Young Marcus, and I won't, you know, change my mind about that. I was actually really excited. I felt very excited to see someone who was so young, bringing forth the kind of knowledge he was bringing forth. You know, you don't really see that as much. So when I saw him on Sonetta, I was excited about that. I was like, wow, you know, finally, you know, somebody is on here and it's worthwhile. Like it feels good to see someone being able to drop this kind of knowledge at such a young age. But now you got this shit right here. And I'm like, where the hell did this come from? You got him sitting up there looking like this. I'm sorry, you got him sitting here with some white boy looking like Alex P. Keaton. I'm like, what the hell is going on? First of all, like, why are we even doing this with these young people like that? And secondly, how are you going to have 2 young people debate a topic like that? Like, to me, it just doesn't even seem fitting. Like, what are they really going to bring to the table when it comes to that? What could they add to that subject? Like, I don't understand. I think it's ridiculous. Why would you And maybe it's because they're trying to get younger people to be more involved. You know, they're trying to get a new market, you know, reach a different
Ah,
demographic and make more money. I don't know.
ding, ding.
I just think it's ridiculous.
Mm. So we got this young guy, Phenom, right? Young Marcus. I think somebody's ghost thinking for him. I don't think you can call it ghost writing. I don't know, ghost researching or something. I don't think, at first I did, like you said, Queen. I don't think that he's organically this genius. I don't believe it. Not taken away from him, you know, seems like an intelligent young man to be able to recite what people tell him. So he's pretty intelligent. But I get this uneasy feeling when I even look at that flyer. I get this weird feeling that these are two pawns on a chessboard. Especially this guy, Jeffrey Rosenberg. He's technically an adult. He's in college. This guy, young Marcus, is a teenager. All right. And we got the Jewish flag in the backdrop, the African flag, and it's clearly about race here. And it's perpetuating something. It could be insightful. It could incite something that's a lot more destructive than it is constructive. And once again, how are these young folks certified to speak on matters of race that have gone back for thousands of years? What is their track record? What has young, I emphasize young, Marcus, and he might not even be young. This is what happens when you start going with battle scholarship. I think that's going to have to be a new terminology because it's almost like battle rap, almost. Young Marcus has the experience of race relations. I don't see it. I don't see the cognate here. And I don't even know who this other guy is. I don't know who that guy is. So is this something that this particular lecture here, which is almost like a whole nother world to the main event, could this potentially be something that's negative, something that could create some really deconstructive remnants after the fact? Is this something that we will really have to be cautious of? I open the floor to that.
Do we know what the actual debate between young Marcus and the young Rosenberg? Do we actually know what their discourse is pertaining to? Do we know that?
Yeah, I said it. Are the Jews capable of aligning with black people in the fight against white supremacy? Or
to me,
does their past record show them to be the enemy?
Hold on, I'm sorry, Melvin. Give me 1 second. I apologize. My thing about this, and you said it also. This personally, I've seen it was given to 2 adults prior to what's occurring this December. Now, why? Because that was handled wrong, you know, or that's what was said. You know what I mean? I wasn't there, didn't spend money on it, could care less. But why are we giving, pretty much this, why are we giving, and why are we putting this stress on our children, our youth? Why? Why are we making money off of this? You know, is this going to be recorded? Is it going to go down in history? You know what I mean? Is it going to be used as lessons in how the
You still there, Chris?
Oh, was that my mic or you guys?
That's your mic. Yeah, Chris, I think your
Yeah,
mic
man.
bottoming out on you.
Peace, everybody in the panel. Peace to the audience. Yeah, I say it sounds like a setup.
Don't you think it's a polarized version, as Chris was alluding to the Polite and the other Rosenberg? Wasn't his last name Rosenberg too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably his nephew or some shit.
But how's everybody doing tonight?
What's popping? You know
We
what?
good, man.
My perspective about this, man. Why? Like why do we care, or why are we keep trying to push this alliance between Black people and Jews? I don't understand it. I really don't get it. I could really care less what a Jew has to offer at all, because to me it just seems like they just making money off of this, and you already know what they do with their money. You know, why are we bringing them into our communities doing things with us? Like, why come we can't do our own thing, you know, with us? Why are we involving those people?
Probably because we want to be like them. I mean, look at how the business is set up. It's got Jewish all on it. They just want to be like them. They're not happy with themselves. They're not happy with their people the way they are. So instead of changing a little pieces of you to make yourself better, you decide to want to imitate somebody else. Keeping them around keeps you relevant. Shit to do.
So can't we just say that based on the premise, based on what's going on around the world and locally here in the United States, that this is some fuckboy shit? This is some fuckery.
Exactly. I think
it's some bullshit.
I said that in the beginning.
Oh boy.
The goddamn promoter is the damn ringmaster of the circus, and the participants are the little monkeys that jump around at the end of the little grinding box.
Well, damn.
Is that what it is?
Tell them how you really feel.
Because that's what the fuck it is. Because, see, this is why I'm saying this. Because we did a show about a Black woman who was misogynized, called a bitch, her children were threatened, and these same lame-ass niggas ain't saying shit. And as a matter of fact, they said the show got to go on. Matter of fact, we're going to exploit this little kid, this little young boy, to talk about some shit he ain't old enough to know nothing about.
Well, in all fairness, Amon Ra Squad did issue a public statement saying that they would not tolerate any disrespect of Dr. Mayat.
Dr. Ma'at has personally told me and said it's all right to speak on it, that is a crock of shit. And that Amon Ra Squad are liars. Now, if she says it to corroborate my statement, then what the fuck does that mean what Amon Ra Squad said? This is this constant, we are abating what the true issues that's going on. Let me ask the panel this for the sake of, and this is a sidebar. If a policeman pulls you over in 2016, and that policeman gives you instructions, what are you going to do? Panel. If they say, put your hands on the steering wheel, what are you going to do?
I can speak from personal experience from being pulled over several times this year.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm instructed to put my hands on the steering wheel, I'll do that.
You're going to do that expeditiously.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Is anyone gonna have a change of opinion? Like, are you gonna question them and why you telling me to put my hand on? Why are you telling me to do this? Who are you? What's your name? Are you gonna do all that? If the
You know
cop,
what? Not for a steering wheel. Hell no. I mean, I'll put my hands on the steering wheel. That's fine. You won't
if
get
the
no.
cop says,
You won't get no fight from me on that one.
get your black ass out of that goddamn car and get on the fucking ground, are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I might have a problem at that point.
You would have a problem.
At
Okay.
that point. At that point.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
All right. Anyone else? Would you or would you not get your ass out that car and hit the ground? Anyone else there in the panel? You may have some technical difficulties though. I know. Chris had a problem.
Yeah, what was the question? I didn't hear it. Peace to the panel too.
Yeah, I was saying, if a cop pulls you over, says get your black ass out of that car and get on the ground now, are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get on the floor, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
At the end of the day, he got that weapon trained on me most likely. So I'm really in a position, a losing position.
Well, that's changing the dynamic a little bit. Nobody said nothing about a gun on me.
Well, they got a gun
most of the time
on their uniform. That's part of their uniform. That's their equipment.
Facts.
They're not gonna go nowhere without that gun. That's their neutralizer.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can speak from a person who's been in a situation plenty of times.
Yeah.
If you got a gun to my head, then yeah, I'm gonna make sure I do whatever it takes to try to
get to the crib.
Yeah, I want to make sure I go home to my son.
Bang.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, if an officer is screaming like that at you, he definitely got that weapon out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, Chris, Melvin, Nefaka. We got a kind of a polarized vote here. Anybody?
If I understand the question, I think yes. I mean, the last thing you want to do is to get to be mentally unstable, a reason to take things further than they should.
Now I'm going somewhere with this now. Queen Nefaka, you got an opinion? I know, Chris, you having technical difficulties, man.
I want to say I don't know.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that like I'm saying it like I'm so, hard. You know what I'm saying? That I'm going to be like, I'm not getting out this fucking car or something like that. I don't know. In a situation like that, I've never had a gun held to my head. You know what I mean? I don't know how I would respond. I would want to say that I would try to cooperate with them because I would, like everyone else is saying, want to go home to my family and stuff. But I don't know. I might be afraid to get out of my car. I might feel like if I get out my car, I'm going to die. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you now.
And anyone want to say what they want to say, and then I'll give my my perspective on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I've been through the bullshit, the fuckery, and with that aspect, I think one of the things is that I don't think it's right, but again, do you want to go home and see your family the next day? You know what I mean? Like they can be in the wrong, and a lot of times they are in the wrong. But I know personally for me, I have responsibilities. I have people that look up to me, and I have things that are expected of me. So I mean, it's fucked up. And I mean, you gotta understand, I mean, we live within a society that was not built for us and it was not meant for us. And you have to take that into account. Sometimes trying to be the badass and a macho, you're gonna fuck around and end up in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So, and this is how interesting this dynamic is. Every day now, or at least once a month, or at least every week, we have video footage of a cop telling somebody, get on the ground. No, why are you touching me? Get your hands off me, cop. Don't touch me, cop. Look, just get on the ground. No. Pop, pop, pop. Either it's a gun or it's a taser. Right? Police brutality. Now, I was born in 1970, right? I remember looking at videotapes of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X talking about police brutality and how the cops might just kill your ass and how you got to watch their ass. But in 2016, we act like it wasn't happening in 1960. In the neighborhood that I grew up in, there were codes to follow. One of them was the biggest gang is the police. Whatever gang you got a problem with, the biggest gang is the police. That's the number one gang that'll kill you. Before any other opposing group of people, you better watch them guys because they have a right to kill you. So if they say jump up, spin around, do the running man, do the dab, that's what the fuck you do. Because you don't have an option. In that sense, you don't have an option. So my question is, the promoters, the ones with the cell phones, the ones that find the video footage on the cell phone, the ones that are bombarded since the incident in St. Louis, from this point on, since the brother in the hoodie, the young brother who was shot with some M&Ms in his pocket by Mr. Zimmerman, since then we've been on a declining spiral of being bombarded with cops killing us. Cops have always killed us. But the mere fact that it's being promoted at such an alarming rate creates a static reaction to give you the impression that this is all that's going on in our impoverished neighborhoods. Now, case in point, I parlay that into these events. Constantly bombarded with this kind of crap to where, as Queen Neferka stated, some people are actually coming there to learn. What are they learning? Number one, that isn't already been talked about. And number two is being taught by people that are not certified teachers. It's the same thing as being bombarded with a negative image over and over again until you become desensitized to it. And you literally are trying to justify action against a circus show. Just like you're trying to justify action against cops that have always been the opposition to human beings. Period. The job is to control and watch people. That's what the job does. So as I open up to the panel, these kind of images and things that are promoted at these events, it isn't about shutting them down, right? Because if that's the case, we'd have to shut down all other non-productive shit that we do. That wouldn't be fair. But to change the mindset of where this shit belongs in our culture. It is entertainment. It is like watching the X-Men. It is like watching a 30-minute episode of your favorite Martin episode. Should not be taken serious anymore. It shouldn't have ever been that way. We were kind of bamboozled. But I open this up to you, panel. Is this a state of neurosis? Are we in a delusionary state when we watch this kind of content to actually believe it has scholarly premise?
We are in a delusional state, and I'm glad you brought up the George Zimmerman thing. And I'm gonna say something that may be shocking to people. We debate each other. We have individuals that have obviously committed crimes and they walk free. Funny fucking thing to me is that I actually went to school with George Zimmerman and his sister. You know what I mean? These are real motherfucking people. You know, and no disrespect to his sister, not gonna put her name out. You know, she had nothing to do with it whatsoever. But you know, the shit is real. You know, you got people ready to hound and kill over, you know, their own brother and sister over fucking religion or to discredit each other over intellectual fucking debates. But you got actual people out there walking scot-free who have committed crimes against your own brother and sisters that I guess it's fucking cool with you. It ain't fucking cool with me. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like, I'm like, honestly, it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke, the fact that after this, you're gonna have people that are gonna watch the videos, they're gonna talk their shit on YouTube, and a lot of these motherfuckers don't do nothing with your life. I mean, what the fuck do? You know what I mean? It's a fucking circus, and it's bullshit, you know? And again, I love the team I'm part of. I love Team Osiris, Team Offset. We give actual facts and a fresh perspective to a lot of the fuckery. You know what I'm saying? So I digress, and it is what it is.
Okay. Okay, well said, brother. Panel, the floor is still open.
I don't know if I don't know what I would say about it, because I think, you know, to say it's neurotic for people to go to these events, that's kind of a blanket statement. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know why all those different people go to the events. I think some do it purely for entertainment, and if that's what you want to do with $20, I mean, that's your business. Nobody should judge you. But I think the people who really take this kind of stuff seriously, like I don't even know if I should give that example, but I'm gonna give it. The young brother that was holding up the Ankh at one of those debates behind Polite. He had an Ankh and he was pointing the Ankh towards Polite. Like, that's a little crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you really? Do you really think you're giving him energy by doing that? Or I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. But people who really take it seriously, who really, you know, live their lives according to some of this information, false information that they're given, then yeah, I would have to say that, you know, there's some neuroses with them. But everybody else who's normal, who just sees it for what it is, nah, I wouldn't say that. And I don't know if I would put it in the same vein as what the media is doing, so to speak, as far as police brutality and brainwashing. I don't think that the point of this is to brainwash people. I just think it's to make money, really and truly. You know, people should kind of be smart enough to be able to see the forest for the trees when it comes to this kind of stuff.
I think we give assumption based on our own lives and not based on a general consensus of how people live. Because while I grew up, it was people that would listen to Tupac, and depending upon how high they were that day, they would go out and kill somebody because Tupac told them to. Everybody's not rational. You would have people that will idolize what you would think be trivial. I had a friend, we couldn't watch Menace to Society. If anybody remembers that movie. Old Dog, he was guaranteed to shoot at somebody or go and randomly kill somebody that day when he watched Old Dog.
But that's what I'm
he was,
saying.
so,
I'm not.
oh, go ahead.
I'm not disputing that. You know, I do think that there are people who will probably take it that seriously or that far, but that's like to say that everybody thinks that way. That would be like a blanket statement. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm quite sure there are some people who are damn neurotic. Like they really take this shit very seriously and they really do idolize some of these people. Yes, but most people I would assume and hope that they don't do that. And if they are paying to go see this, that they're doing it for entertainment value. I don't think the majority of the people who are going to go to that event is really going to take the information or whatever happens there seriously. I really don't.
So when we have slut shaming, misogyny, blaming the black woman for abortion being a reason for black genocide, and we constantly see this chronic behavior, we minimalize it. Child abuse, child neglect, single parent homes. We keep thinking it's a minimalist problem when it's definitely a serious issue that goes on in our community that sometimes is perpetrated and sensationalized in modes of entertainment that we watch. Power. What's the other one? That's the in competition with Power. Empire. These are images that are superimposed on the screen to magnify the negative aspects of our lives. And we gravitate to it. Why? We make it the #1 show. Scandal at one point. A woman doing scandalous things in a scandalous system. A black woman. Written by a black woman. Why do we gravitate towards these negative images of who we are? Or these events that promote the negative side we tend to have an affinity for? Why do we do that? Open up to the panel. Why do we do that?
I mean, in a simple general sense, it's propaganda. It's being programmed into our psyche. These are things that we're seeking. We're seeking this kind of entertainment because the people who are putting out this kind of stuff, they understand that it keeps us pacified and not paying attention to real world problems. I mean, I'm in situations every week where I have coworkers, friends, family who say, "Oh man, I gotta get home at 7 o'clock because I gotta watch Empire. I gotta watch Power. I gotta watch something." And for somebody who doesn't watch television, which I don't watch television at all. I can see the hold that it has on people and the nonsense that they put out, and people don't understand how these images and these messages are being subconsciously put into your head, and you walk around with this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not even just that. You got to think of the music we listen to, the kind of activities we engage in. All of this stuff is propaganda. It's all being fed to us in such a way, that we're craving this kind of thing. I mean, just think, if I was in the hood, I would be doing hood shit. It's because of the environment that I grow up in. It's because of the negative images I see. For most of us, instead of wanting to be something productive in society, like maybe a doctor, a lawyer, or something of that nature, something that can help our people, we grow up with this fantasy of being a gangster. We want to be the toughest guy in the neighborhood. This is the kind of stuff that we look forward to. And people don't understand how this is subconsciously being implanted into your head. And, we wonder why our communities are in shambles. You go outside and you look in a black community, you see things like liquor store, You know, in St. Louis, we got liquor stores, we got Chinese restaurants on every corner. You know, selling boxed rice. This is the kind of stuff that we see. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of image that's embedded in our psyche. But you know, you travel about 30 minutes out, you hit the suburbs to where there's barely any black people, you see a whole different thing going on. It's a whole different culture. You know, these people have got nice shops, they got vegan spots, they got good restaurants, they got a whole bunch of stuff that's more catered to something that will be more a more healthy lifestyle that we probably should be living, in contrast to what we are living in. I mean, it's just so much stuff that's so messed up, and you know, it's just, this is the kind of entertainment that we're seeking. You know, at first when I came into this conscious community, my thought was, I'm glad that these brothers are doing debates. I'm glad that they banging on each other with the information, because they could be out there in the streets banging with a pistol. But now I'm starting to see that for what it is. It's all propaganda, because again, this is just another form of media and another form of entertainment that's actually keeping our minds off of real stuff. And I think this is also particularly dangerous in such a way where it gives people an avenue to get off and focus on things that are not real, pseudo as we call it. This gives people an excuse to walk around and talk about people floating and flying out of their bodies and just all kind of crazy nonsense. And we just like, we understand that this kind of stuff does not happen in the real world. Those of us who think rationally and just sit down and digest this, these kind of things don't happen in the real world. But you now have a community of people who are trying to tell you that we can do this and we can do that, but they themselves can't even do it they damn selves. I mean, it's so much stuff that we run into, but I digress.
Well, and it's interesting that you're saying these things, because what really humbled me, and was recent, if you think that you're comfortable where you are and who you are, try to break away from something that you like for 30 days. We did a 30-day fast. It really brought me back down to self and really helped me check my ego. To really find out what you've been programmed and what you're accustomed to. Even though you know it's detrimental, you still do it. So when are you truly rational? And when do you truly have control of your mind if you can't mentally say, I'm going to stay focused on something for 30 days? I'm not going to eat this for 30 days, or I'm not going to smoke that for 30 days, or I'm going to refrain from cursing from 30 days. Whatever it is so difficult to do. And you know, you got every intention in the world, but you can't get it done. At some point, wouldn't we have to be accountable for the environment and the things that subliminally influence us without us even being conscious of it? So we tend to take things that we think are superficial, but don't realize that they have damaging effects on the back end, particularly our psyche. How many of the listeners, I asked the listeners and the panel, how many of you would allow your 8 to 10-year-old child, would you allow them to watch an episode of Power or an episode of Empire? Would you let them do that? Could you comfortably allow your child to watch that?
Hell no. Hell no. Fuck that.
Nah, that's a simple answer. No, not at all. I don't even. No. I don't want it.
What was the question again? I just about to.
Would you let your child, adolescent from 8 to 12, watch an episode of Power or Empire?
No, not at all.
So now, if it's not good enough for the child to watch, why would adults watch it? Because how much different is your psyche? Inexperienced? But isn't the adulteration of your psyche, the reason why adults have so many childhood phobias that carry on up into their adulthood? Like watching, I've seen so many people get shot in their head, body. I found dead bodies. We would walk past dead bodies on my way to school when I was a youngster. It, in some shape, form, or fashion, that affected me.
I'm actually glad
whether
you
I
brought
wanted
that
to
up.
accept it or not.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Chris. I'm gonna add to that too.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. We gotta stop fucking playing. You know, it's I know that we've been done wrong. We know that a lot of factors have a lot to do with the way that we deal with ourselves and the way that we deal with the rest of the world, especially as being African Americans and in America. But again, you know, seeing certain things, being exposed to certain things at a young level of being human as a child at an early stage, it's gonna mess with you. It's gonna fuck with you. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna manifest itself in dreams. It's gonna manifest itself in certain actions. It's gonna manifest itself emotionally. You know what I mean? And how you deal with people and how you deal with reality itself. You know? So I'm actually glad you brought that up because we have to deal with these things. Like seriously, if we're gonna fix our situation, we have to first fix ourselves and then deal with the outside world. So
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and I was gonna add to that because you know, I'm able, by me being born in the 80s, I personally feel like I grew up in a certain time period where, you know, we had some of the last of the old school type parents. Um, Me personally, I had a mother who never censored any of that kind of stuff from me. So, you know, contrary to what other children were being exposed to, my mother never hid anything from me, but she made it her life's business to make sure I understood what was right, what was wrong, and what was real and what was not. This was thoroughly explained to me, so anything that I was exposed to, she had already um, instilled in me and made sure that I understood what was really going on. So I didn't have some of the same problems that everybody else had as far as deciphering what I was seeing or anything. You know, I even had personal experience with her herself. She would do things that she would say, hey, don't do this and this is not right. But mom's doing it. And it kind of segues into what Chris and Kansu kind of brought up. By me growing up with a mother like that, and growing up in the kind of neighborhoods I grew up in, I definitely seen things that mentally affect me today. I was actually talking to a coworker of mine, and we were having this conversation that, and I made a post about it earlier, that Black people suffer in silence a lot because we're exposed to a lot, and I mean a lot, of things that we shouldn't be exposed to. As children growing up in a society, especially in impoverished neighborhoods, what we call the hood, we grow up in these kind of environments, and we shouldn't even be exposed to 75% of the stuff that we're exposed to. Some of us can just keep on moving, and and we think it's not affecting us, but subconsciously these things are affecting us because now I'm in a situation where I have a sleeping disorder, um, and PTSD. This is directly coming from the type of environments that I grew up from. Like I said, I'm walking around in silence. I'm trying to act like I'm putting on the front with this stuff is not affecting me, but this is. Hearing gunshots all the time affects you. Seeing dead bodies affects you. Seeing people do drugs affects you. Smelling the kind of things that you smell. I mean, just interacting with these different kind of people. All these things affect you. I mean, that you gotta understand when you look at other people in different cultures and how they come up, they're not exposed to half the things that we're exposed to. So they don't even have to deal with the kind of problems that we have to deal with. So these are things that we just got to keep in mind when going about this. And I encourage everyone to get help, talk about things, make sure that you understand as a person that one, you're not alone, And second, make sure that you get yourself together, especially if you are going to have children. We want to make sure the first thing that we can do is help each other, is make sure that we raise our children a different way from what we came up in. I'm doing the damn best I can to make sure my son is never exposed to a lot of the things that I was exposed to, and so far I've done well. I got a long road to go, but this is just one of the first things you can do. I mean, you can't jump out there and expect to save the world. The first thing you got to do is try to save yourself and your people around you. So that's the best thing you can do. And I'll yield the floor.
Hey, brother, hey, Rule, on my life, on my soul, yo, thank you so much for saying that the way that you said it. And yo, like, I mean, that shit was real, yo. Thank you so much, man.
Well, I mean, with that being said, and that's some powerful insight. I segue back into this internal programming. When we're watching videos and flashing lights and colors going before us, this is a form of programming. It's internal programming. And it is definitely a advanced means of brainwashing. That's why you use certain techniques like marketing and creating ads. The most influential visionary tools are 30-second excerpts called commercials. We can remember a commercial from 30 years ago that was only 30 seconds long. It is a science in dealing with manipulating and mastering brain activity. Even from the actual muscle aspects of the brain, the amygdala, the hippocampus region that deals with memory, the frontal lobe area, the temporal area. All of these things are bombarded by stimuli at an alarming rate. When we start creating, let me ask this question again to the panel. Would you send your child to school, say elementary, high school? Would you send them to school? And it's an open-ended question. I'm asking everybody to deal with the rationale of thinking. How many of us have done it? How many of us have gone to public school? Would we go? Would you send your child to school?
Yeah, and let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Because homeschooling is something that's a pretty new concept. You know what I mean? And right now, I think you start to see a lot of people who have been homeschooled now become adults. Now is that time when you're gonna start to see those children, they're adults. You see how they interact. And I work with some people who have been homeschooled their whole life. They never gone to public school. And there's something freaking missing. I'm sorry. They just have an awkward way of being. They don't really know how to interact with people. Socially, they're very awkward and they're not well adjusted. And the truth of the matter is that we live in a society where you have to know how to be a social person. You can't just, I understand that a lot of us, especially within this community, we want to educate our children a certain way because we understand that, education in this country is very Eurocentric. But at the same time, there's a whole element of socializing that schooling brings about. And a lot of these children that are homeschooled don't have that socialization. So when they go out in the real world, they don't know how to cope. They're sheltered. They don't know how to deal with real world problems. The world isn't going to change because you want to homeschool your child. And it's not feasible for everyone. So the best thing to do would be, you can still educate your child, but the best thing to do would be to give them that education at home, as well as let them have an education outside of home so that they know how to deal with people once they become adults and deal with the world.
Yeah, definitely.
That is well said. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was saying, definitely she's on point with that. And I agree because these people mentally they don't know how, they don't know how to interact with the public, and so they lose that interaction with the homeschooling.
But for instance, my parents, they taught me before I went to public school. So I knew a lot of things that other students did not know. And so that's something where parents can actually provide influence to make sure that when your child goes out into the world, they at least have some sort of identity of self. And that's really what a lot of people who are homeschooled, they lack.
So wouldn't that be logical that the teacher be educated on how to fucking teach? And so when you send your child off to school, the main reason you do it is because the teachers are certified to teach your children or your young adult or your adult going into college. They're trained to damn teach. So how the hell can a group of average people create a community and say that they're scholars? Where have they been trained to teach?
Who's scholar? Who's scholar? Who's scholars, bro?
We're talking about the heavyweights of the conscious community are primarily these scholarly people that are doing these next two debates coming up in December. And peace, brother Ngozi. Peace, brother. I didn't even realize I didn't pay attention. You was in there. Peace, brother.
Ain't no fucking heavyweights in the conscious community. Them a bunch of raggedy ass niggas that be running their fucking mouth. Ain't no fucking scholars in no conscious community. Ain't none of them motherfuckers no scholars. Ain't no heavyweights in that shit. Ain't none of them. Ain't none of them heavyweights. I don't look forward to none of them motherfuckers. None of them. They full of shit. Bunch of con artists. That's the fuck they is. What are they doing? What are they doing constructively? What are they doing? Seriously, what the fuck are these people doing, bro, outside of talking about the same dumbass shit in different ways, yo? What are they doing?
They hustling, man. They hustling.
Playing double dutch with words and shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. All that shit is a fucking game. These fucking RBG niggas is a game. Some RBG people trying to be about their life, a lot of them ain't. All that shit is entertainment, man. Ain't nobody fucking liberating shit over here, man. Bunch of raggedy ass niggas just fucking talking, playing games, playing double dutch with words. Nobody give a fuck about that. None of it. And a lot of these motherfuckers gonna get themselves fucked up, bro. A lot of them gonna get hurt because they play a lot of these mind games and they talk to the wrong people. And they run around doing all types of gossip, bitch shit behind people's backs and shit. These people are weirdos, bro. Ain't nothing conscious coming from no direction, no motherfucking well. You know what I'm saying? Anytime people telling you don't go to school, motherfuckers telling you that you're intergalactic and you're super melanated. You got motherfuckers telling you that you can read 3 or 4 science books and out of nowhere because you read 3 or 4 science books, you know evolution, and then you got motherfuckers just silly shit like. It's just really stupid. Like, for real. Like it don't make sense. Just follow the pattern of these crazy ass people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to school. The system's evil. You know what I'm saying? All types of shit. But it's a bunch of hypocrisy. And I know I'm not coming in on the ass end or shit end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like
no,
peace and love.
Right in. You follow
Peace
right.
And love. Peace and love to the Queen, Neferka. But yeah, man, it's and peace and love to the panel. But it's definitely a bunch of fuckery, and I can't take none of these. I don't think anybody should. None of them are able to teach. Don't get it twisted. We had people that came and gave us stages of evolution to be who we are mentally, on a mental level, from Elijah Muhammad to Dr. Ben to Dr. Job to everybody that made way for us. Dr. John Henry Clark, but those are real scholars. This shit that they doing is Hollywood, WWE. I'm going to talk about this person one day and call him a bitch ass nigga, but then I'm going to be his friend the next day. Like, people don't play those type of games, man. That's a damn rat race of nutcases. People that self-medicate themselves with drugs like marijuana and cocaine sometimes and other types of shit that they use. And they need to be taking real prescriptions. Just running their motherfucking mouth. Like, these people are crazy people. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that deal with logic and that's real, they know that this shit is costumes. I don't see no liberation coming from that shit.
Yeah, Queen Neferka said the same thing.
I don't see any liberation coming from that shit. Niggas got costumes and koofies on their head, and they do, they talking all this shit, and then they think it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's really really bullshitish.
Wow.
And you know what's sad about the situation? Europeans think that shit a game. They don't take none of these fuckers serious. Not none of them. You feel me? Not none of them.
Mhm.
These people have all types of double lives going on. They talk all this bullshit, but they're affiliated with all type of corporations behind closed doors, like dumb shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, another just the build off of that, man. I would think that would be the goal, is to actually go in the universities and teach from our perspective in the right way and right the wrongs of the whitewashing of Europeans. But it's mostly a circus show for the most part, and yeah, they not paying attention. You're right, they laughing. We so damn far behind, we can't even show up on the stage with those people. Not saying that should be 100% of the goal is to, be on the same stage as them, not at all. But the thing is, if we want to get our message out from our perspective in the right way, we so damn far behind that we ain't gonna be able to do that at all.
Man, look, I've been traveling a lot lately, and I've been seeing a lot of shit. And what I'm learning about black people is that you're absolutely far behind. This is very far behind. You're not lying. We really don't know how far behind we are. You got middlemen and layers transporting and doing all types of stuff with major corporations where you're not even touching it. Like you at the bottom of the crumble section to doing things. And for me, looking at how things really operate, and I'm trying to speak in certain parables in a parable, looking at how things operate from a real global scale, man, I have no time for this, for the circuit race shit. Team Osiris is gonna be something. We're not part of the conscious community. If anything, we're going to destroy the conscious community in the sense of just putting out real information. I don't think we should affiliate with any of that crap. It's about truth. But all I'm saying is, man, we brother Haru, you're not lying. We far. We far. And being part of that little rat race, it's not gonna get you nowhere. It's not gonna get you nowhere. It's not gonna get you nowhere, man. Motherfuckers gotta have plans, man. And I'm gonna tell everybody, get involved and go to school. Learn this shit. If you don't want to go to school, take up a course in science, take up a course in biology, take up a course in chemistry, take up a course in something. Get into the apprenticeship program. Learn a skill. Get involved in the medical field. If you don't get involved with linguistics, we can use you overseas in another country. They will use you to be an English teacher or English instructor to network with our brothers and sisters overseas. Infiltrate this system and get this shit, man, and get educated so we can really produce something. Because arguing about Hebrews and Moors and some stupid ass Egyptians and some other dumb doofy ass shit, it doesn't make sense. Fuck a pyramid, fuck a desert, fuck a goddamn Abu Baba, and a goddamn Shalom Ahoma. None of that shit means anything. For real. At the major scale of corporate America, when you measure everything, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing. So, you know what I'm saying?
I echoed these sentiments earlier, that we have grown accustomed to a subhuman lifestyle. We've been treated so inhumanely for so long that we've psyched ourselves out of being treated as regular human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know the thin line that goes between manipulation and propaganda and truth, because truth is only based on a person's perception. There's no one truth for an entire race of people. There is no one truth. There's a perception of truth that leads to other sub-perceptions, because the mind don't work like that. The mind is too vast and is based on too many other intangibles for everyone's mind to do the same shit. So when you're subject to subpar, this is why I brought up the analogy of sending your children to school. Would you send your child to school with the neighborhood mechanic to learn ABCs. No.
Hell no.
You're not going to send. Education is education. School is for social development. The subject matter is for you to be employable within a capitalistic government. However, your main objective in school is to know how to diversify and socialize, because in the real world, there are diversified people in front of you. You can't go around thinking that you only going to deal with black people. That is some dangerous thinking. That you're not going to come across a white person, whatever that is, and say, I'm not talking to you, I'm not dealing with you, I'm not building with you. Black power.
But you know what, brother, Chief Consul, man, you know, and I'm glad you're bringing it up. When you look at things, the domesticated Negro in America, I wouldn't want to deal with a bunch of black people. I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I would never put myself in that fucking situation. It's a sickly ass situation. These are some broken motherfuckers, bro. We already know who the European is, so I mean, I'm against humanity, period, collectively. But I don't have to talk shit about him because everybody know who he is. The mad serial killer, the mad extremist. I mean, we know who he is. But when it comes to the Afro-American, you can't do shit with these people. It's only a select few. Seriously. You be around one some of these motherfuckers for a week, man, and you're going to get in some type of confrontation with these people, man. They have mental problems. They have been trained and conditioned to hurt one another. They don't want to see success. They don't want to see you do anything. You know, you got a few of us that do, because I'm not a hater. I like seeing everybody come up amongst people that appear as me. But you have people, man, that they just feel some type of way. A nigga might walk a certain way. You might talk a certain way. You might act a certain way. It's something that they have to say. Human beings, man, when it comes to these type of people, they really fucked up. They really fucked up. So for a person to want to even teach their children to be in an all-black situation and all-black this, them little motherfuckers gonna grow up fucked up. And them the ones that you don't want your kids around. I mean, I used to think like that, man. All black this. I remember I let a brother stay with me, man, because he was all about black liberation, RBG. You know, I felt sorry for the brother. I thought he ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? This was about 3 years ago. I'm just putting this shit out there. And the nigga used to say he didn't have money, to contribute to him staying with me or whatever. You got to pay some rent or something. Motherfucker say he had no resources, but the nigga, you know what I'm saying, was buying reefer, buying blunts and shit. You got money to buy reefer and shit. So I'm like, bro, what's up, man? You got money to buy reefer, and half of your digs, like whole zips, and sometimes a half or a quarter, whatever. So I'm like, yo, you got money to buy this shit, and I'm not even. This is past content. I mean, I'm not saying no names or none of that. I'm just talking about the action that happened. So I'm like, yo, you got the money to do this type of shit. You feel me? You might as well just go ahead and run some resources, man, and help pay a light bill or something. This motherfucker tell me, brother, we all, the system this, and I'm trying to preserve as much as I can. But bitch, you got money to buy this other shit, this other bullshit that make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? I fell out with the nigga, had to throw him out, beat the shit out of him, and threw all this shit out, threw his daishiki wearing ass out, threw his daishikis out, threw all the oil out in his head, all that bullshit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. It's all stupid. These people are clowns, man. For real. I'm just bringing it up because a lot of these people are ignorant motherfuckers that camouflage themselves in these dumbass books and camouflage themselves in these daishikis and wetter oils and have these little lectures. But these some raggedy motherfuckers for real, man. For real. They got the same mentality. Motherfuckers throw locks in their head, the same motherfuckers. The same people playing games, manipulators. It's just a bunch of bullshit, man. I'm just speaking out loud. It is what it is.
Well, that's what it is, finally. I mean, I'll go ahead. Somebody else want to speak? Oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's slave thinking. Once you've been mentally broken and you no longer have an identity of your own, you start thinking that this type of shit is okay because you've been tolerating it for so long. It's a slave thinking in modern day times.
And we have to get to a paradox. The oppressor sees no color. The oppressor sees control, opportunity, perpetual power.
Dominance.
The oppressor do not see color.
Fellas,
Opposition is nothing but a paradigm.
Mhm.
How can two poor, disenfranchised group of people claim to have power over one another? The actual supremacist is going to come in every shade of human being. And that's throughout history. You had tribes that dominated one another, that were racist and bigoted toward each other all throughout the continent of Africa.
Man,
That is basic coexisting and tribal guidelines.
it's part of our
Certain tribes weren't going to fuck with other
It's
tribes.
part of our instinctive nature. If you look at the primate kingdom, man, and you look at the primal nature of bonobo chimps and gorillas and regular chimpanzees, it's always a dominant cluster of these creatures that's trying to fight against another one. That's what primates do. You know, you don't need a European to come in and make a black man evil. These are naturally instinctive impulses or electrical impulses or feelings that we're going to feel regardless. Tribalism is something that we develop on the continent. So to these Afrocentric nutcases that believe that foreign people came in and make you think the way you think, it's kind of crazy for you to think that a minority of people can come on a large ass continent with 56 countries, right? Come in and make you evil. That means that you're a stupid motherfucker because you don't got a brain to do right or wrong on your own. Somebody got to come in and condition you. It don't make sense. If humans develop in Africa, the first divisions had to occur in Africa amongst people. The first forms of thinking was coming, and if the first form of thinking or human cognitive development psychologically arose in Africa as a species of Homo sapiens sapien, that means that the first opposable thoughts occurred, the first oppositions had to happen, the first form of everything that we experience psychologically had to occur within that species that developed in Africa around 200,000 years ago. So what I'm trying to say is that it's human nature to function the way we function. It's just that the European, who developed in his geographical location and accumulated certain types of mutations and went through higher levels of isolation, he took it to the extreme. You probably had little indented shit going on amongst one another in a little tribal war where you get a spear and run up amongst a whole village and wipe them out. This motherfucker came in and destroyed you, the village, and another village next by and other villages because that's his way of doing things. He did this amongst his own in Europe. People need to study prehistoric Europe. Study what they was doing amongst each other with the Irish tribe. They didn't treat you no different than how they treat the goddamn Irish. That's just what they do. They're extremists. That's what they do. But what I'm saying is, it's human nature instinctively to function the way we function. If we really believe in evolution like we say we do, we would not be sugarcoating human history. We would not. We would not be sugarcoating human history. We can't say, black African power, all that shit, that even that in itself doesn't make sense when it comes to evolution. People really need to study evolution and study the human nature. And outside of the human nature, study the primate kingdom and how primates function. This is instinctive. And we talking scientifically. Period.
Wow.
Motherfuckers been functioning like that. Now, certain things in America make us, a little bit more fucked up. Your mind been stripped. You don't speak your tongue no more. You think like him. You want his tools. You want to function like him. You walk like him. You have no sense of identity. The first group of people that was brought over here, them people was fighting like hell to get back home. Some of them committed suicide. But then you had them cutting off your legs so you can't escape, using you in sex burns. So only thing you could do is produce slaves. By the time the baby was 8 or 6 years old, they had them working on the field, all types of shit. Some of the babies that came out underdeveloped, they fed them to alligators. So you went through all this trauma and all these different stages of destruction that you accumulated psychologically. And then you lose your tongue and you speak English. So by the time you get to the third generation, the fourth generation, you don't know your mama, you don't know your daddy. All you know is the plantation of the field. That's all you know. You don't know shit about Africa. Your great granddaddy and your grandparents, they wanted to go back home to Africa, but you don't know nothing about Africa. You know what I'm saying? So you're going through all these different things cognitively that you experience to the time that we are now. And by the time they let you free in 1865, so they say, they really just sold you to the state and gave you to the states and stopped making it what we refer to as a private business of owning slaves privately. You know what I'm saying? They let you go But when they let you go, you was already half crazy. You done lost your goddamn mind. You know, the way you function, everything about you. You know, you had to lose your mind if you're not speaking your indigenous tongue. We all suffer from PT. I mean, you know, post-traumatic slave syndrome to a degree. You know what I'm saying? We all do. So my thing is that how do we free ourselves from it? How do we get the help and stop that shit and see certain characteristics about ourselves and nip it in the bud? And we can't do it by depending on the conscious community, because the conscious community is a circuit to keep your ass confused and insane and always trying to go in different directions.
Man, as long as we got niggas running around talking about they can fly and you astral projecting and doing all this crazy shit, we ain't gonna get no damn where. We ain't gonna get no motherfucking where. As long as motherfuckers running around here thinking that shit is real. Like, come on, man. That shit don't happen in the real world, man. Wake the fuck up. We got real issues and we need to deal with real shit. That's why I was saying earlier, man, this goddamn community, it almost makes it okay for you to get off into to nonsense that don't mean shit to nobody. It serves not one iota of purpose at all.
Ask yourself the question.
People eat that dumb shit up.
Ask yourself the question. How could the one who believes in the evolution drink tea and eat pizza with the one that don't believe in evolution? And you say you're against metaphysics and shit, but everybody's in cahoots behind closed doors. That's an insane asylum. What direction is these people going in? You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that we can't depend on that shit, because you know why? Because it's clearly showing that these people do not take the people that they teaching serious. You can't say you believe in evolution, right? I mean, don't get it twisted. Your belief system is personal and private. I might fuck with religion to irritate people, but I'm not gonna go out here publicly telling my grandmother or my cousin or my uncle that Jesus ain't real. That's personal shit. Who cares about that? That's just belief. But what I'm saying is that when you're on the field battling people in academia, I'm talking about in reality, and you say you stand up for evolution, and then you got this other person trying to debate theology, you really can't even put that shit in the same room together. It don't make sense. Theologians should not be battling the goddamn science when the Bible doesn't deal with science. He deals with theology. It's a belief system. But you're putting all these people in a room together. Do you know how much confusion that you're causing people to think? Now, the reason why Bill Nye was able to debate that Christian scientist, because that Christian scientist was a scientist. He understood the methodology of science. So that's why he was able to go to the arena and battle Bill Nye, because he had an idea of science. He was trying to prove the premise that he can prove science through the book, and he deal with irreducible complexity. He wanted to prove that idea of God in a book, but he understood the method of science. The dude is a biologist, so he was able to stand up and fight against this person. But you're not going to get a regular preacher like what's that dude, the white guy that's a millionaire, what's his name? Oh, what? I forgot his name. One that always blinking his eyes and smiling. What's the white guy name?
Oh, you talking about Joe Osteen?
You're not gonna get someone who deals with Christianity to debate Bill Nye, because he don't understand the biology or chemistry. So what I'm trying to say is this: these crazy motherfuckers in the science community who don't know biology, who don't know chemistry, who don't know science, all they know is metaphysics, and they don't even really know that properly. They underdevelop what they understand in metaphysics.
And to them, you can't tell them shit. They know every goddamn thing.
Yo, it's all a hustle. I mean, these people really don't know the information that they teaching. A lot of their information is outdated as fuck, and they just using that shit for gain. That's just it.
Let me just say this, Melvin. But the danger of it is that people are listening to these crazy motherfuckers. It's a time and place for everybody. So if you got people that's teaching underdeveloped metaphysics, not proper metaphysics, underdeveloped, poorly understanding metaphysics, these niggas paragraphs. And from their paragraphs, add a bunch of bullshit philosophy to their little paragraph that they read to prove whatever premise. You got people that believe that they understand evolution and all this other shit. And they putting these people in a circle amongst one another. You never experienced the tools of the tool to try to concentrate or see bacteria in cells. Never used the microscope, and you never seen it. Why y'all arguing?
You know what? I'm glad you said that, man, because Richard Dawkins has this line. I'm gonna paraphrase it, but y'all gonna get the gist of it. He said, if evolution is going to be disproven, it's going to be disproven by a scientist, not a complete fucking idiot.
Exactly. That's why Bill Nye was able to debate Christian Science, because that Christian Science is a biology teacher. He understands the method of biology, especially when it comes to microevolution. So with the only way it can be debunked is by a damn scientist. Not no nigga reading scriptures, not nobody reading a New Age book based off electromagnetic fields and all that philosophical shit. You have to be able to understand how the electromagnetic field work. Just don't talk about that shit. You have to be able to talk about light spectrums and shit. Just don't try to bring up terahertz and megahertz and shit. You ain't even ever used the tools to see how this shit function. This is personal private philosophy. So when I see shit like that and people talking about the Moors don't know anything about these damn Moors, and I'm not talking about Noble Jali Moors. I'm talking about historical Moors. You got niggas talking about that's what the Moors did to other indigenous Africans, from black Moors to so-called white Moors. That's me and Haru color, because the white Moors that they call them white in Mauritania, that video that What's Name show was so fucking funny. They Haru color against the blacker Africans South. That's Wolof and Nke, which is darker. I'm like, this shit is really stupid. That's how you know white and black are social constructs and made up, and white supremacy has really fucked up the world. Niggas is my color. Certain countries.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is this: it's really pathetic. It's just really pathetic when everybody get a chance to just sit down and think and just monitor everything that's going on. None of it makes sense, man. None of it makes fucking sense. None of it. So you got these people talking about the Moors and talking about they are the Moors, or they trying to go against the Moors. But none of these people got the proper training to understand or even know the history of Africa to say what a Moor is and what it's not. Seriously. They don't. Images are not going to show you what a Moor is. The little dumbass history taught about, well, the Moors enslaved black people, such and such, and then they call them Arabs. Just because somebody's Arabized don't make them an Arab. I guess we Englishmen. I guess we British because we speak English. Are we British on this phone?
No.
Okay, then. Berber be a fucking Arab because he look like an Arab or he speak Arabic. They just saying dumb shit. They just say stupid shit, bro. I'm like really getting. It's like getting irritating. Really irritating. Don't know shit about the continent. Don't really want to go to Africa, but they talk about Africa.
Yeah, they not connecting with people that's actually on the continent. They not doing they due diligence to even understand it. Some African Americans have a notion in their head that Africa is some kind of black utopia and that everybody there is all on the same page. They all look alike, like it's one damn big ass country and everything is the fucking same. And people got to stop thinking like that. To say that they all the same is almost like saying we all the same. We not all the fucking same.
We're not all the same. We all different. Believe it or not, we're different variations of humans. Each one of those tribes. See, that's why it's important to understand the diversity of Africa. African Americans was hybrids when they used all those tribes and we amalgamated amongst one another. You know what I'm saying? Fulani is not a Wolof. Wolof is not a goddamn Mandinka. A Mandinka is not a Bimaliki from Cameroon, or the Unduguns from Angola. Certain tribes, the Undu from certain tribes. You get people from Central Africa and breed with these people from far West Africa, where they develop different subclade mutations autosomally and through their specific sex chromosomes at subpoints when it comes to the human genome. Now, you're mixing these people that develop in different parts of the rainforest for thousands of years. Some of these people been in and out through the Sahel, through the Sahara, picking up on different traits, and then you put them all in one lump sum and mix them all together. These are not the same people. They're not the same people. We didn't speak the same fucking languages. We had similarity because the language family was classified as Niger Congo, but we're not the same. The African American is a hybrid. You're not one particular tribe. You might be part Igbo, part Yoruba, 54% Nigerian, 20% Senegalese, 10% from the Ivory Coast. You got all this type of strange shit going on inside of you genetically. And you got to make the best out of it because you're a human being. Either way, you're human. A little sprig of Irish in you, might be 12% Irish, 3% British, all types of funny shit. You know, it's just that, you know, you really got to explain this stuff in detail. We wonder why we act the way we act. This shit is really deep.
Well, man, this has been a dynamic conversation. I know a lot of people thought it was going to be satirical, and we were just going to deal with picking on some cats on the conscious community. Well, no, it was really dealing about the effects on your mental, and when someone is a self-proclaimed professional of anything, question them, and then question yourself for even listening to them.
Pretty much.
This is what's important in the conscious community, because we dealing with some fake ass, isolated, socially deprived individuals that have a lot of narcissistic tendencies. I would watch them in a lot of social constructs, like around certain individuals or around kids or around your elders, because you don't know what you might get out of these cats.
Or even better yet, brother Consul, around the enemy.
Yes. Oh, yes. Very much so, bro.
To be honest with you, King, they don't want no problem with that white boy. That white boy. These motherfuckers don't have no problem with that European, bro. It's entertainment, man. It's entertainment.
Think about this construct, and I throw it out here for the panel. Sandra Bland. The family of Sandra Bland, the family of Laquan McDonald, collectively settled for almost $20 million after the deaths of their children. Yet the deaths of their children created a movement of indirect mayhem in the Black community. But the family of the people that were directly affected took that motherfucking check.
You know what's funny, brother brother Consul? I can ask my mother right now if my mother was up. My uncle used to date Sandra Blaine's mother. He know her well. She's like, we know her. She's from here. We know her well. People don't. All I'm gonna say is this, man, to the surface, yo, loudly. People don't know what the fuck they be talking about, bro. They don't know shit. They don't, and you're absolutely correct. Families are settled. But everybody else is doing all this other shit. It doesn't make sense, man. It's crazy. Just like when brother Haru was out there in Missouri. The revolutionist brother who was murdered out there. I'm sure Haru know what's up with that shit for real. You know, I'm not saying he know the people that did. I'm talking about the propaganda that the media is trying to,
Yeah, brother Darren Seals.
Yeah, it's the propaganda. People don't know nothing about Missouri. You know, they just talking shit. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the
people from Missouri know how Missouri get out, but these other people don't know about how Missouri get out. You feel me?
Yeah, Missouri is a swing state, and for the people that don't know, when we do presidential elections or we have other kind of elections, it's one of those states where it can go either way. You have St. Louis and Kansas City, the two biggest metropolitan areas in the state that are more democratic, but outside of that, the population of Missouri is probably about 5.5 million. Outside of the maybe 2 million in the St. Louis region, and the other probably 1.5 million in the Kansas City region, you got a lot going on there because everybody's not on the same page.
Nope.
We got to remember this state was in the middle of the Civil War. You got the northern half that was supporting the north, and then you got the southern half that was supporting the south, and then you got St. Louis, who's right in the middle of that. And even to this day, the city is heavily segregated. So when things like this happen to us, like the Mike Brown situations, this stuff hits our area particularly hard, very hard, because you got white boys here that's gonna fight tooth and nail, and you know what I'm saying. And we battling each other here seriously. I mean, we literally have a boulevard in this city that separates us from each other. It's called Delmore Boulevard. You can tell a culture shift every time you go past this particular boulevard.
That's
I mean, this is a heavily segregated city. It still is to this day.
That's right. That's amazing. See, this is the type of shit that need to really be talked about, man. Shit like that, yeah. For real.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you, brother Consu, for holding it down and having the show. We were supposed to do the show yesterday, and that was on me. I've been traveling, Consu. I know you was mad at the motherfucker. Like, nah, this motherfucker needs to get a laptop. I know you talking, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, I've been traveling a lot, man, and you brothers holding it down, and I appreciate everybody in Team Osiris. And I appreciate Sister Nefrika. This is just what it is, man. But I will tell y'all this. They trying the blackballing is real, but we don't see none of them. We don't see none of them. We don't see them. This truth gonna always reign supreme. That's all that matters.
And audience, be looking out. Queen Nefrika is getting ready to debate Christopher on the Metal Netter. And did they use blue ink or red ink? That's going to be our shot.
Could you cut it out? Really? Cut it out.
We go. We going to start making up some bullshit ass debates. Ngozi against Bishop Trotter. We gonna make up some shit. And anyone who missed the beginning of the show, check out the empirical data. I had the crying Jordans and the scholar that created it, he was on point. I'm gonna keep him anonymous.
You know what, brother Consul? I'd like for me, you, and brother Chris, everybody, the whole panel. I would like for us to do a show on the Egyptians whenever. I'm not saying when. I don't want to set up false days, but we really need to destroy the Egyptian thing in a sense of explaining the people for real, from a real scholastic perspective. I'm talking about like historically and using real reference and putting DNA in it. It just give people a good detail of who these people are and how they really function.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt some feelings. That's gonna hurt some feelings.
The community really neglects tropical West Africa.
You gonna start? Hey, that's great. I'm with all that.
Man, and I.
Hey man, all I want to say is they got us fucked up.
Yeah, man.
We banging hard over here on the West Side. They got us fucked up.
Yeah, they do, man.
Hey man, rest in peace to the romanticized version of Kevin.
Yeah, we gotta destroy that shit, man.
Get out of here. Down to the sidelines.
Yeah. Shout out to Mali. Shout out to Ghana. Shout out to Benin, Togo.
Yeah,
Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad.
Right. They got us really abandoning those people in West Africa. Like, the people look just like us, man. And we don't even fuck.
Cote d'Ivoire. Talk about it.
It's real.
Shout out to the color people of Sierra Leone and Togo. Shout out.
Yep. Fucks in the Gambia.
Them people look just like us. And we don't even fuck with them. I think it's sad. You know what I'm saying? We abandoned all the tropical grassland for a damn desert.
Crazy.
Like, crazy. It'll hurt people feeling
Because
like
a
we found out in West.
instant said so. A nigga with instant and onks made in Taiwan told your motherfucking man we come from Cuba.
I've been on record several times saying, I respect and understand the Northeast African culture, the Nile Valley culture. But for me, going through this evolution of consciousness, it's something about West Africa that's tying me back to that. It's something about the art. It's something about the people. It's something about the traditions. I'm starting to come into my own and understanding where we from and what it's about. I can see the little nuances in between the different groups. Even though we've been in America for 400 years, some of us, you can start to see some of the similarities in the cultures. Some of the things that were carried over from those regions are still active within us. But the fact that we have neglected them so much, we miss those little things that tie us right back to those people.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't even pay attention at the way you do Christianity. That ain't how crackers do Christianity.
Nope.
Your way of doing Christianity is our own little way, and we mixed our indigenous spiritual systems within that Christianity. That's why you got a lot of people running and jumping and shouting around in church.
Mm-hmm.
We do that shit over there. Look at Ifa. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Voodoo. Look at how they operate within their own spiritual systems, and tell me some of that stuff ain't the same thing that we do.
We go.
Yep. The Dogon in Mali do it too.
We gonna get the world upset because we got a real Egyptian with. We got a real Egyptian team.
1,000 times no.
See, what we gonna do is
Yo,
we
it's
gonna drop
real.
the
I said, who
science
the
on
hell
them.
is this?
We gonna drop the science on them, but we gonna make sure they understand culture. You gonna get some culture messing with us, cause I you know, everybody might not feel the same way I do, but it's a lot of bullshit that I want to put to bed, and it's a lot of nonsense, especially in the African American community, that we just gotta stop with the bullshit.
Exactly.
These people don't understand culture and how to tie things together and put stuff with stuff. It's a lot of situations in the conscious community where people mixing shit that ain't even got nothing to do with shit. That ain't got nothing to do with us at all.
Yeah.
And that shit gotta stop, man.
And you know what, Brother Haru? That's why I did what I did. We got an Egyptian team, a dude from Egypt that's in Team Osiris, right? We got 3 people that's affiliated with us from the continent. We got the brother, I'm not going to say his name yet, but I will say we got our brother Waza, who's, from South Africa. He descends from Bantu-speaking people. And then we got an indigenous Egyptian in Team Osiris. But the good thing about the situation is that the brother from Egypt, he don't take that shit serious like how we take Egypt serious. Like he over there right now. He live there. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. My man,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, he's probably in Aswan right now.
Yeah, he's over there right now. And the thing is, the shit that we hurrah over and shit, that man, he'll tell you what that shit is for real and what's really going on. That's why I'm glad we did as Team Osiris, bro. We have an Egyptian now.
And I think we definitely got to mention Miss Actifo, Miss Perrette, that's a part of Team myself.
Yeah, shout out to Miss Beretta Tipo. She hasn't been feeling well.
Yeah, she's
Shout out.
originally from Togo, correct? Or is it Benin?
Yep. Togo.
Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful, intelligent sister. Kansu, you can break down what is her profession?
Yeah, she's an aeronautics engineer, and one of the very few in that continent. And she's actually living in Ireland right now.
And who's fucking with that?
Right. Right.
So I mean,
Hey man, pretty soon the team is gonna have, old boy at 125th scared, he's gonna have to fold up his tables and go back home.
And they're gonna be mad at me because I'm working with my brother from Igbo land. Oh,
that's what's
man. Oh man.
That's power.
Oh man. They don't want to see that, man. We actually making these connections to show people what it is with the people. We're not running around here trying to give no false impressions that Africa is this African utopia where everybody just black power fists. That's not even how the world operates. That's not how Africa operates. We're not running around here talking about we Jews, we Moors, or this, that, and the other, or we Native American. We're not doing none of this shit. We actually putting 2 and 2 together, talking to the people, going to get the data, finding all these resources, man. This team works hard as hell to get some of the information that we get.
That's right.
We work hard as hell to put together these puzzle pieces, and a lot of this conscious community, these motherfuckers is way off in left field some damn where.
Way off. Shit crazy. Thank the ancestors collectively that we ain't got hands up our ass. We free. So with that being said, it is what it is. know what I'm saying? So we gonna definitely gonna put in his work. I want to get that Egyptian brother to do something on Egypt though when he have time. You know, because you know he gonna break down the romanticism. He's gonna destroy the romanticism of Kemet. Dude got pause. Real. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a point right now that if I go to Egypt, that shit is just a vacation. I take a picture in front of the pyramid, you know what I'm saying? If I can roll up in your dig over there, I will, man. That shit ain't nothing. Straight up. I need to go back to the grassland, west. I want to go to Gambia.
Yeah, Gary's a good spot, man. You'll be well taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, man, now we got a troll in the back chat
They said.
talking about Arabs and Arabized niggas.
Oh, I'd rather be an Arabized nigga than a.
And what's his DNA? This Egyptian.
It don't matter what the fuck his DNA is. I'd rather be an Arabized nigga than be some nutcase ass voodoo centric dumbbag
Stop hating.
motherfucker. You talking about Arabized niggas? Nigga, you a British ass nigga. You speak English.
I would say, what's his premise facts in that question? Is he insinuating that the ancient Egyptians was sub-Saharan African people like us at all times during the thousands of years that they had power? I hope that's not what he's insinuating.
The people, first of all, they wasn't no. You absolutely correct. And when we get into the human genome and start breaking that shit down, we're gonna destroy that. You can't call nobody an Arabized nigga when you're a British ass nigga. You speak English. You have a British name. You eat Europeanized food. You're a vegan. Vegan is not African. Let's get that shit correct. Not African. That's some Indian and British shit. Look up the history of veganism. Has nothing to do with the continent. So your whole lifestyle is non-African. About you, that DNA you got in you that come from the continent. But your culture, you live in a hybrid cultural society, my brother. You're British. You're part of the program. You're Anglo-Saxonized. That's what the fuck you is. So let's not talk about the Arabized North Africans. But you can't talk about your Anglo-Saxonized in America. Seriously. You gotta really stop it.
They really a science experiment, a byproduct of special breeding. If you really want to get into it.
Yeah, man, we need to dispel all that bullshit. The Sumerians wasn't no goddamn sub-Saharan African people. That's bullshit. What we calling Jews, those wasn't no damn sub-Saharan African people. And the Egyptians wasn't no sub-Saharan African people, unless you probably want to throw in the 25th dynasty, but that's about it, basically.
25th dynasty, 12th dynasty, yeah, they were sub-Saharan. 12th dynasty was from Chad. 25th dynasty were Nilo-Saharan, Meroitic speakers. But even when you deal with Sudan, those are different types of people. You know, Sudan is the second largest country in Africa. Algeria is one. Sudan is the second. Sudan and Nigeria have the only first and second largest population of humans. You know, when we talk about these countries, we ain't talking about a state or a city or a block. You know, when we study Egypt, we're looking at the hierarchy history of Egypt based off what the royalty was going through. No one knows what the fuck the citizens was going through and who the citizens was. So what I'm saying is we're studying the political aspect of Kemet and Nubia. So when we talk about all this shit, people don't have no clue of who is who. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of those Egyptians, they've been looking like that for a long time. For a long time. Them niggas probably ain't been sub-Saharan black since EM78. That specific Y chromosome migrated from the certain Eritrean area, spent time in the Sahara, then went up towards Aswan, then Thebes or Upper Egypt in certain time periods. By the time they made it to the Delta, so many people were back migrating in and out because that was marshland. Them niggas was a bunch of ancient drakes up there in the Delta area, not in Upper Kemet, but in the Delta area. We have to study the specific marker of when parts of the Africa was abandoned and when people was repopulating it, and you had bottlenecks, which is reduction of a population based off whatever type of environmental issue or pressure is going on. So we really need to study the people in Egypt. And the people in Egypt today are not Arabs. They're more Greek than Arab.
Yeah, that's all a byproduct of lazy scholarship. That's all it is.
Yeah, we gotta get into making sure people understand different ethnic groups and who's who in specific areas and regions. Yeah, and we keep saying it, but we have to stress this because people think that it's only one people there. I mean, we talking about
a country.
Yeah, we talking about plenty, and I mean plenty of different groups in certain regions. All these people don't look alike. All these people don't have the same culture. All these people aren't doing the same thing. Basically, one of the only things that's tying them together is maybe the language phylums, because we can trace those specific language phylums, and then we can study the certain mutations that happen. But other than that, I mean, these people are different. We can't group everybody in one lump sum and just say, hey, this is what it is. You can line up, you can get 20 people from Igbo land, line them up. They not all gonna look alike.
I was reading something. And they were saying that everybody in Kemet didn't even speak Metal Netta. The Metal Netta and hieroglyphs was for, it was for a certain group of people that lived in a certain area, but everybody in the country didn't speak it. I mean, I'm not saying it has been deciphered, but I don't know how true that is. But that's a big ass country. It's just like in Nigeria. Everybody in Nigeria don't speak Yoruba. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't speak Yoruba. So it's kind of funny.
No, not at all. I mean, you have more than the big three, but you have three major ethnic groups that are in Nigeria. You got the Hausa, you have the Igbos, and you have the Yoruba. Now, there are more groups within Nigeria, but these are your main three branches. And each one of these branches, even though they may be in proximity to each other in some form or fashion, have their own specific cultures that they have that are unique to those specific groups. So you can't look at Nigeria with a European lens and be like, okay, well, Nigeria is this and this is what this is. No, because then you're going to have to start breaking down these people. And you almost have to do that. You can tie it into here because you can do that the same thing to here. You can't look at people on the west side of Chicago and group them in with people on the south side of Chicago. Two whole different cultures.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the same way that we would understand the differences between us over here, we would have to take that same understanding with them over there. And matter of fact, that's people all over the world in general.
Right. Hey, that's why when you put up that post and you saying which one is African, and I said neither specifically because you have to denote that they belong to a specific subgroup. And
right.
A lot of people totally didn't get that, and they thought I was denying that they actually reside on the continent. And it's the fact that I'm acknowledging that these people are separate people. And they belong to their own cultures, they have their own backgrounds. You just can't say, oh, they're African, let's put them all together. It's not going to work. They probably don't even like each other.
They don't. And that's the power of understanding evolution. When you understand evolution, you understand humanity. I don't have to pick what group of people I want to be from. If Homo sapiens sapien exists here, I exist there. It don't matter what part of the world they're in. We're talking about a specific species that developed in a so-called area, a continent that we know today as Africa. So with that being stated, we're talking about the history of humanity. Now, the reason why we link to West Africa so much, because that's why our genetic affinities are, similarities. We were recently snatched from that 500 years ago. But we're telling a human story in evolution. So if you truly understand evolution, you really can't be biased. You can't be biased to history, and you can't be biased to real events that took place with humanity, which is part of history. Evolution won't allow you to. If you're trying to be biased and you believe in evolution, you're in the pseudo category. You can't be biased when it comes to evolution. You can't be. How could you? And you understand the species of humanity. I'm just saying, yo.
Well, we're definitely, man, this conversation that's taken it went to the very next level. We've been chomping at the at the bit to put some things out here, because we've been hearing all this bullshit, and we are aware, of course, like the brother in Gozy said, the blackball games from intimidated, scary ass niggas. We know exactly how it's being played and when it's being played. But all I can say is after October 4th, we're going to see where the games go after October 4th. However, we've been on the air for quite a while. I know it's getting on the East Coast. It's about 12:30. Shit, I mean, I know me and the Gozy will be up all night. That's how we do. We appreciate everyone listening and understand that, you know, we're going to keep the pressure on. We're not backing down from anyone or anything when it comes to common damn sense and academia and understanding culture opposed to the two. You know, so with that being said, and who is this guy? Shazmoo, stop talking silly, nigga.
What'd he say?
He just, I don't know, something. He needs some pom-poms.
What'd he say?
Let's see. That when we come to West Africa being invaded from 300 to present day by Arabs, they were also indoctrinized by Arabs, Moors, and sold and bred for centuries.
It don't matter. Yeah, that's true. Well, I can't really say Arabs indoctrinated them.
Right.
The Arabs, because first of all, we can't give the Arabs more power than what the fuck they have. During the time of the Arabian conquest, the Arabs fought against the Berbers. The Berbers got their ass beat. The Berbers was Arabized. And then once the Berbers got their ass beat and converted to Islam, first of all, the black sub-Saharan Africans wasn't forced into it like that. The Fulani converted on their own, and the upper class Mandinka converted on their own. And after the upper class Mandinka converted on their own, they enforced Islam African groups because they were Arabized, because they practiced the Arabized culture. First rule of Arabism is that Arabs are not white nor black. Arab supremacy was based off swarthy skin. Let's study the history of these Arabs or these people in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. Second of all, Prophet Muhammad taught that if you speak Arab, you are Arab. It don't matter if you was a nigga from Nigeria. It don't matter if you were a person from Saudi Arabia, Lebanon. If you study Arab culture or Islam, you are Arab. So the people were Arabized. Okay, yes, I do agree that Arabized Africans, whether they were Berber or black sub-Saharan Africans, did enforce certain ideologies on certain groups of people. And that's a fact. But we're not going to disregard certain human tribal issues that people had going on in those rainforests before they came in contact. Now, here's the thing. It wasn't to the extreme, the way Arabized people did it or the way Arabs or Europeans did it. That's a fact. It wasn't extreme. But human beings still have a brain to think for themselves cognitively to do wrong amongst one another. It's not a kumbaya when it comes to nature. It's not a kumbaya in any event in nature. Set kingdom.
Yeah. Yes, to back that up, bro, I actually have a friend from Nigeria, and you know, him and his wife, you know, they have their own separate religious beliefs, even though they still are Yoruba and Igbo. And you know, he said with our culture, we can still practice Islam and still practice Yoruba or still practice Igbo. There's no conflict between the two because we know who we are, regardless whether we choose Islam or Christianity or our own, you know, natural belief system. And that's something people do have to understand. It's not the way it was over here in America with the European. It's totally different. It's very, very submissive.
We really, it's too much romanticism going on about Africa, man. These motherfuckers are human beings. This is what human beings develop at. You got to be out your fucking mind to think that these people were just heavenly beings Humans come out of there. And if humans come out of there, human first emotions and thoughts came out of there. Period. First dislikes, first likes, first hates, first loves, first desire for certain foods, non-desire for foods. This is what people develop at. You can't say you believe in evolution and be biased when it comes to explaining the human development and human history. It's impossible. It don't make sense to me. It's not scientific. And if you try to do that, you are a fucking pseudo. I don't give a damn who you are. Any real say, even when Sway Kiata speaks, and I like using his work, he's very political about how he talks. Sway Kiata was even one of the first bioanthropologists who was able to explain that the Egyptians were indigenous and had tropical limb proportions, but he also talked about the back migration that people try to smuggle and cover up and try to play games about, yo. And to me, an African is an African. I don't give a fuck if he's a Berber from the Atlas Mountains of Morocco with nose, like Soy Kiata say, his nose is as thin as a Swede. Or I don't give a fuck if he's a black sub-Saharan African in tropical grassland, Nigeria. An African is an African. You develop on a continent that we know as Africa. Period. Cultures is different, but you're still African. And you can't be saying you hate Moors, or the Moors is bogus. But the first people that was called African was a Berber tribe. The same people that you say you hate. Berbers were called Moors, and Berbers, which first of all, Berber is also an insult because it's short for barbarian. The Amazons, which means free man, a nobleman, who we know as Berbers, they were the Afri, and they were called the Moors. So if you say you're African, the only real Africans are the people that live in Carthage, which is in modern day Tunisia. Those are not people that look like you and me. It's really biased when it comes to explaining history and different shit. So the Tariq would be original African. The Kabali type Berbers would be the original African. You have over 24 tribes of Berbers or Amazon people in North Africa. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm just being real. It is what it is.
Well, with that being said, next conversation. This is Kansu Sheshmamoon. On behalf of Team Osiris, we out.